Alright, it's been a little while since I've done an update video, so I thought I would. This is my 2007 Honda 919. Bought it last summer, June 21st of 2019. It is now September 1st of 2020. When I bought the bike, it had less than 8,000 miles. It was stock other than a 2-up Corbin Seat, 2 Brothers exhaust, and a tail tidy kit. It now has just over 16,000 miles, so in just over a year I put on more miles than the previous 2 owners did in 12 years, so I've been riding it and been enjoying it. I love the bike. I mean, it's been over a year now. I can't say enough about how much I like this bike. We'll just kind of start with what I've done to it. All the stuff I'm pointing out here I've done in the last, I think I did in March of this year. Most of my tax return money kind of went into just buying some fun things for the bike. So the first thing that I did was the headlight. This is a headlight from superbrightleds.com. It is an LED headlight. If you go on their website and look up your vehicle, or this vehicle, it's the one that has the big heat sink, metal heat sink in the back. It does fit in there with no modification. It is tight because all the wires to turn signals and stuff are in there. The turn signals on the front are from Amazon. I just searched motorcycle turn signals with daytime running lights and I found these. Turn the bike on here and show you. So they are white when they're just on, which I really like. They actually match the headlight really well. And then when you turn the turn signal on, they change to orange. Then we cancel it, they go back to white. So I thought that was very cool. These are like the only ones I could find that I thought looked kind of modern without, being too modern to where like, well, this is a 2007. You don't want to have a super modern turn signal on there. I thought it fit the bike really well. The other thing I did was these levers. These are CRG levers. Definitely not the most expensive out there, but not cheap either. I think they're 130, 140 bucks, something like that. The only thing I would say about these is that their color's off. So they say this is gold. It looks orange. Luckily it fits the bike because the bike is a very deep candy red. When I think of gold, I think of something like this. So I was really hoping it would match the brakes better, but it didn't. What are you gonna do, They work well. If I did get brake levers again, I'd probably just do black or like a dark metal, like a dark titanium, something like that. Might be kind of cool looking. Changed the grips as well. Just some pro grips, pretty basic, but they're comfortable. The other ones that were on here were the stock grips, so the rubber's all hard and whatnot. So this does absorb some vibration more, but this bike doesn't have much of a vibration problem. Now I did have these on my, I think my first video I even had these, but these are the frame sliders, and I will reiterate, if you're gonna put frame sliders on 909, put it here on the frame. It's mounted here. Do not put it on the engine mount. If you go down and it's on the engine mount, you run the risk of cracking the engine mount, which is not a good thing. I also got the engine guards for the side of the engine as well. Coming up, I did get the Tech Spec tank grips. I like these a lot. I think it fits the bike really well. It's good for, when you're braking or cornering. Just a little extra grip on the tank is nice. So I did mention that this came with a 2-up Corbin Seat. This is the solo Corbin Seat. So I bought this one. This is probably the most expensive thing I bought for this bike. I believe it was, I don't remember. I want to say it was like 600 bucks after shipping. I can't remember. Go on their website. But this is their solo seat, which they don't even have on their website. You have to call them and tell them you want the solo seat. They don't have it as an option anymore, but they will make it for you. And you can choose all your materials. You can choose what kind of piping, or even if you want piping, you can do no piping. I think the piping makes it look, I don't know, I like how it kind of differentiates the seat area from the not seat area. This is all leather. This is red stitching. This stitch pattern is called stealth stitching. If you're gonna buy one of these, that's what that's called. You can get like diamond pattern or different patterns in the stitching. And the Corbin logo I did in black because I wanted it to blend in. I don't want it to be some bright gaudy thing because it just looks terrible in my opinion. Two-brother exhaust came with the bike. Of course I had to put a sticker on here, so it's a kind of a chrome gold. Go fast, don't die. It's a good thing to live by, especially when riding a motorcycle. Now going to the back, it did have a Fender Eliminator kit. It didn't have a light. Not that I don't ride at night anyway, so not really a problem. But it was plastic and falling apart. This one here is a Competition Works Fender Eliminator. It's all metal, and you incorporate the stock tail light or the license plate light, which is nice. But it's all metal. So this is all it here and here. It comes just bare metal, so I didn't do a very good job painting on this section right here. So it's silver like that. I painted mine all black, but it mounts here and it comes all the way. See if you can get, it comes all the way down here and then mounts back up in here. It's not zooming in, but you get the idea. But it's all metal. I mean, that thing is rigid. I mean, that thing's not going anywhere. I did keep the turn signals that I had on there before. I think my old video, my first one, I had like crappy turn signals on the plate. Those were a bad idea. Don't do that. They are not bright enough. So I got brighter ones, even with the old Fender kit. But this one, I just kept them because they were so bright and I wanted people behind me, obviously, to see where I'm going. The ones on the front that I just showed, they are nice. They look nice. They were too big for the back. They would have been hitting the exhaust a bunch. And they just weren't bright enough. I wanted the ones in the back to be very, very bright. So these being bare LEDs are very bright. So I also got the LED bulbs, and they do like these sequential flashing, you know, like the hyper flash, and then they go solid after I think 4 quick flashes, just to get people's attention. Well, that's just an easy thing. I think, again, got that off Amazon. I think that's it. I will tell the story of my crash. So on June 6th, I was taking a kind of a tight swooping corner, maybe a hair fast, and hit some gravel, and down she went on the left side. So you can see a little damage here. It did break this off, but there's still plenty of threads. I was able to just put just a little bit of thread locker on there and put that back in. Little black touch-up paint. Also scratched up the mirror arm here. Again, just black touch-up paint, no big deal. Did scratch up the tank. Now these did their job. Here's the engine cover on the left side. These did their job very well. These are both been replaced because this was all chewed up and this was worn down almost to like this first, wow, my camera work is terrible. This one was worn down almost to the first line here. So they did their job, but little damage on the tank. It didn't dent the tank, it just scratched the paint. And then this is probably the worst of it. A little bit of rash here. I mean, I'm not gonna fix it. It didn't crack, it didn't, you know, a little bit of rash. It's like it's a motorcycle. I could easily, you know, replace that rear fender and then tip it over, do an oil change on accident, you know, like not putting the kickstand down and dumping, you know, like it's not bad enough that I want to fix it. And then the exhaust, there's no Two Brother sticker because it half took that off, so I took the rest of it off, and then there are some scratches there on the exhaust, but it's not bad. A couple of little minor scratches down the very bottom of the swing arm, but I mean, for going down at about 30 to 40 miles an hour, it's not terrible. So she's no longer a beauty queen, but man, she still looks great. Just walk around here and kind of still a beautiful bike. I really do enjoy this bike. It's a ton of fun. My one video, I think I said I think it might be my first one. I can't remember if I've corrected myself, but I said the throttle was a little twitchy. I actually don't find that. What I found out shortly after making that video is I went to adjust the chain, found the chain was quite slack. So once I got the chain tightened back, no problems. It's not twitchy, it's not jerky, it's pretty good. I mean, it takes a little bit of getting used to. Just jumping on the first time, you probably think it's twitchy, but with a properly adjusted chain, it's really not any worse than any other fuel injected bike. All right, well, that's it. Hope you like it. And if anybody's interested in that seat, there's all the information for you, so you can get that seat and check it out. I'm really happy with it. I rode 7 hours earlier in the season, and yeah, I was ready to be done riding after 7 hours, but it was, the stock seat, I got to get off after like an hour. It's I don't know how, when I see guys riding the stock seat on these 919s, I don't know how you do it. It's so uncomfortable for me, but maybe I'm just getting old. Who knows? I'm just going over everything, making sure I'm remembering everything. I'm pretty sure that's it. And I'm pretty much done with the bike. I'm happy with it. It looks modern enough with that nice white LED headlight and the turn signals. And I probably will change those levers. Maybe next season, over the winter, I might buy another set of levers. Just go with black or the titanium, something like that. So I just ticked over 16,000, so it's going to be due for its valve adjustment here. I haven't decided if I'm going to do that myself or take it to a shop. Shop wants $700 for it. And a buddy of mine has this exact bike, and he's a little more mechanically inclined than I am. So his has a few less miles than mine, so maybe when he does his, I'll see how difficult it is, and then maybe I'll decide then whether or not I want to take that project on, because I'm not terribly mechanically inclined. So we'll see how it goes. One of the shops in town, I even called and asked him when I was getting a price to do the valve adjustment, and he asked how many miles were on. I told him 16,000. He said, oh, they're usually not out of spec at that time, but of course he's more than willing to do it for me if I'm gonna give him $700. So I'm not in a huge hurry. If it goes 1,000 or a couple thousand over 16 before I get it done, I'm not super worried. I don't thrash on this bike much. So yeah, that's it. All right, everybody, have a good one.